We want to welcome you back to live stream coverage of USA Ultimate Nationals 2019. I'm Erin Maraca here with Tony Leonardo. We're pleased to offer you a matchup between Space Heater and Toro in another round of pool play. Tony, I know Space Heater's coming off a Universe Point win, and you were there for part of that. Why don't we tell the viewers a little bit about what just happened?
Yeah, I just saw them play San Francisco Polar Bears and the cross win there. Down 9-12, hold on offense. Big Georgia Boscher huck, 10-12. They run off 3 straight breaks to win 13-12 on Universe, and a big win for Space Heater there to hold seed.
That's amazing. We've seen a lot of really exciting Ultimates so far today. We're hoping that this next matchup is just as exciting. Clearly the wind here in San Diego has picked up a bit over the last of the 2 rounds. I saw Toro doing a little bit of spacing work on a zone before the game. I also talked a little bit with Georgia Boscher over here and asked her some questions about their recent but unexpected roster kind of changes. Sandy Jorgensen, congratulations, right,
yeah.
is expecting, but Beezus, Kelly Highland, out with an injury at this point. So they're usually very dominant lady roster contingent, a little bit worse for wear, a little bit short-handed. So certainly a different Space Heater maybe than we were expecting to see at Nationals.
Yeah, well, they still got Bomber Georgia Boscher out there. They still got Jenny Fay. They have a strong contingent of men, so they're not going to miss a beat. But you can't really say that when you're taking away Jorgensen and Highland, 2 prolific scorers on the offense, 2 really elite-level cutters. They will be missed. There's no doubt about that. But Space Heater's still a strong team.
A little logistics. We've got Toro out of Durham in the white jerseys to our left, and then we have Space Heater in the dark jerseys to our right. The gen zone for this mixed division game is the left end zone as well, so Toro is starting with that. You know, we talked a little bit in the Snake Country game this morning about kind of young teams, or like 2 years of a team. We know Space Heater just started last year, but this is already their 2nd appearance at Nationals. Certainly new maybe together, but pockets of these players have been playing together for a very long time. Right, Tony?
Yeah, we'll get to a photo later on of some of the old school of this team, the origins of Space Heater, some veteran experience for sure. But still a young team to the program here as we see a big hit from Cody Johnston go up to Eric Salmi, I believe, and that's a goal off the bat on a hold in this crazy crosswind for Space Heater 1-0.
Yeah, that was Patrick Schreiwise.
To Zach
Norbaum. Just doing a little bit of logistic checks. We're testing you at home,
That's
see
right.
if you remember what jersey color everybody is in. Really a quick attack there from Space Heater's offense. I know in that last game that they won on Universe, there wasn't a whole lot of zone played. They're used to running their person, and all these teams now have had a full round to adjust to this wind condition that we're experiencing here.
Well, Space Heater told me, Eric Salmi told me, that's why I thought it was him receiving that disc. He looks kind of like Mr. Zorbram, that, you know, they weren't quite used to this wind, and they're still waking up a little bit of the time difference from east to west, and they're playing a San Francisco team in the Polar Bears that is on the same time zone and maybe a little bit more comfortable with the wind. So they got a little bit adjusted to that, and then a big play, you know, their coach Ty Otterhold told me that, you know, he put in the 2nd D line, so they got a break, and that was with Ryan Cooper making a big play there, and that allowed their primary D line to stay fresh. So Colic and Fay and everybody else on Universe Point really to get out there, stay fresh, and get those 2 more blocks and breaks to close out that game against Polar Bears.
Here we have the D-line for Space Heater headed out there with a pull by McLean.
I think it's McLean.
McLean, okay.
Yeah.
And Toro will get moving with that high side as we settle into a new roster of players. Looks like Allen with the disc on that high side.
Yeah, I think we'll see him a lot with the disc. Kieran Allen, number 0.
Trying to work with Barkus and Mary Rippey in the backfield. Grayson Sanders put, looking for Barkus, too far.
Well, this is something Toro told us about. If Grayson is on his game, then they're going to be pretty dangerous.
Certainly a aggressive and quick-paced offensive motion for them. The only real hiccup was that one handler reset in the backfield. But here we have a look at the Space Heater D-line to start, and they immediately release McLean. Those throws a little bit lower than maybe expected. So Toro will be back on O.
Yeah, tough to bite into that wind. You got to put a lot of Z on the disc, which is spin, and you do want to keep it low. As we see Allen here rip one deep on a forehand, and a little too far.
Looking for book out there. Both of these so far out the back. You know, we talked a lot with Jenny before the game. A lot of like interpersonal connections between these two games. I think
teams.
Yeah, both of these teams have some Arlington, Virginia connections. They have some Pleiades, UNC Pleiades connections. So a lot of these players have been playing together or against each other for a long time, and I think it made everybody really excited for this matchup today.
Yeah, this is a traditional rival. I think it's, wow, count's getting up a little high. She's got a bail, and she just gets it off to Schreiwise. No, Johnston.
That's Malks. Another player to watch, still pretty young in his career.
Yeah, I've seen Johnny Malks before. He's pretty good.
Got Ashley Sylvester, another player who I think has been at nationals with other teams, but perhaps not since 2010.
Zimmerman, Zimmy there on the mark. She's one of the captains of Toro as this put goes up.
Ooh. I thought for a second that Clea Paklemba had a game, like a saving, maybe a play of the game, honestly, if she had bid for that.
What?
I know,
At
I love
1-0?
it. Yeah, sure, why not?
Whoa.
Zimmy with the disc again.
These two teams have come up firing, that's for sure. There's no hesitation.
Not at all. There's Bookhout with the disc. A lot of blades also, and this one intended for Mary Rippey, and it is converted. So both teams hold to start off this game.
I don't think we saw a pass less than 5 yards.
No, this is fast-paced, aggressive style ultimate right now. I know we've heard that Toro is kind of a gunslinger of a team. They're interested in those aggressive deep shots. It also looks like they're interested in a little bit of those over-the-top edged throws, so that should be interesting to watch, especially in the wind. But, you know, the first points of the game, the first O-lines of the game are usually the easiest ones as defenses adjust, so should be interesting to see how they continue into this game.
As we see following off the Toro player, that is Mary Rippey, one of the captains there. It's made the catch, shying away from the camera. You know, I kind of, you know, it just occurred to me, it's like, Aaron, I feel like if you're going to play in this kind of wild crosswind here, why not say, listen, let's test out where these throws are going to land. The first two you saw the distance go far, right? They pushed out the back. So, you know what? That's great for them learning how to dial in where the range is on your throw. Like how much release, you know, velocity do you want to put on that disc? So they're kind of learning that as they play that first point, get it out of their system, and because you're going to need it later in the game when you're going to have to be more precise.
Wilson's pole fielded and centered by Space Heater. You're right, Tony. They're beta testing right now.
Yeah.
Boscher with the disc. Kolick.
I don't know. I say it differently every time.
Shoot.
All
well,
right.
We're going to learn.
Should I shout down to someone again?
Well, yeah, we'll figure it out. It looks like there's a foul called on the throw. That throw was intended for Jenny Fay in the deep space. We often think about Jenny as, you know, one of the best throwers in the game. I was maybe not expecting to see her as a deep threat, but times change.
Times change. Ooh, that's a foul. I'm going to go back to Kolick.
Kolick? Okay, we're going to go with Kolick.
You know what? Someone's going to have to tell us. Well, you know, if they do tell us, how are they going to tell us if we don't hear, if they just, we're going to hear the observer? Because Jeff Blair coming in here.
Yeah, I've got it somewhere.
It's a dead disc.
We'll make it happen.
And nobody should be able to move it. We check it in over there. It's all good. It's been,
So we can hear the observer a little bit as they discuss. Space Heater moving through the handler set.
Alan Colick looking downfield for the deep shot, but drops it to Faye. Another call here as they'll hold on to it. Norbaum in the middle, number 1. Faye with the disc in her hands. Of course, I believe her and Alan Colick founded this team.
I was surprised at how far back that camaraderie goes. They've known each other for a long, long time. Just a bit too much shape on that throw by Jenny Faye.
Yeah, tight window. It's like she didn't want to hang it in the wind. She knows that Alan can go get it, so she put a little, too much edge on it, and unsuccessful.
It's Colick.
Colick.
I got it.
Just that's what I said.
Yeah, okay. We got it.
I've only called like 10 of his games in my career. I can't believe I can't get it.
We'll do better. It'll be fine. All right, we've got Tristan. Tristan Green, one of the vets on this team. Definitely a player whose consistency is valued by the roster. So we'll see how his game shapes up. He's taking a shot
It's
here.
A beautiful shot.
For Matt Wilson. Great bid. It just bounces out of his open palm. Here's Shrywise again to pick up for Space Heater.
Yeah, his speed took him a little bit out of that when you're laying out. Great bid. Nice put.
Westergren and Kolick out to Norbaum.
And that's a second misconnection between these two leaders, Kolick and Faye. Chance again for Toro to break back as Tristan Green will slowly stride to the disc here.
As is perhaps notable to the watchers at home, the wind has died down just a titch. It's not quite impacting this game as it did the last. That wide swing finding Darbalov. Resetting through Kaja. Back to Green.
We know he's got the range, but can't find the under and a foul call. So this will probably stay here with Toro and Matt Wilson.
Wilson calling a foul on Shrywise. Some of the preceding contact impacting his ability to lay out for that, looks like. Wilson looking again for Green. Out to Kaja. Nice grab there by Morozumi. And Tristan Green will finish that. That's a break. That is number 19, Tracy Darbalov, with that score.
Well, they got the break back. Nice patience here, and a really huge pickup there from behind as that disc was behind her, and she was able to reach back for it. And Toro gets that break back after some sloppy play, really, from Space Heater is the only way to put it. Tristan Green, obviously, all around the disc, so look for that. And for Space Heater, they're going to want to try to find a way to stop him. There's Morozumi who made that sweet pickup.
Yeah, that was a nice grab behind her, especially in that little bit of a wind. That's just a hard one-handed catch to make, so good focus from her. You know, when you're short-staffed on part of your roster, like Space Heater is for the women, it can often tire out your D-line more than it tires out your O-line. So it'll be interesting to see how Toro either decides to take advantage of that or maybe misses that tactical note altogether. Space Heater, also a team that would normally run 4 women ratios, but again, shorthanded has forced them really to change some of their tactical elements. So we'll have to see if they try those ratio changes frequently or if they stay in a 4-men set.
Yeah, it's tough to lose 2 of your elite women cutters at the same time. So yeah, I'm not so sure they're going to look forward to playing 4. We already see Jenny Fay out there. She's going to go pick up this disc now. She was just out on the last point for an extensive point too. So, you know, she's a new mother too. So I don't know how her energy levels and conditioning are. Obviously, she looks pretty good out there. We'll see as the tournament moves on. You see this hoe stack and a side sweep play call from Space Heater through the middle works to McLean.
McLean working with Faye, who has a lot of upfield space. Looks like her defender's trying to keep her out of the handler set. Faye with a fearless hammer. It is well played there on the line. Still adapting to where these numbers are on the Space Heater jerseys. We'll get better. That's MacArthur. MacArthur to Norbaum. It's Norbaum's second goal of the game.
Yeah, Norbaum's going to be tough to stop. He's one of their kind of like effective youngsters, as we see him cross over in a lot of the open leagues as well. Toro lost their opening round game to Seattle Mixtape. Mixtape, that number 2 seed here at this tournament, right? Dragon Thrust at number 1. Toro goes down 15-8. So maybe they're hoping for a little bit better of a matchup here. Space Heater, not a team to trifle with, of course, in the semifinals last year. And I believe they lost to, they lost in that to AMP in that Bubblegate game.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Well, as you said earlier, right, and in mixed in particular, anything can happen, right? We saw a lot of upsets in the first round. We saw teams kind of settle down a little bit and maybe go to seed more in the second round. Now we're in the third round again. Teams are finding their groove, but probably getting a little bit tired in the sun. So consistency will definitely be something to keep an eye on. But, you know, upsets are rife across the division. There's a lot of talent here, and it'll be really interesting to see who can put together the momentum and the energy run to take advantage of that.
Yeah, you definitely have to manage your team's energy levels, your focus. You know, the sun. There's just a lot that are non-specific to the play of the game. A wide open, unguarded, deep, and it's Deed instead. By,
nice pickup, Boylan Colchin.
Yeah, by Duke. Yeah. That was crazy because he was completely unguarded. That was Mike Pannoni in the end zone there, and the huck was just a little short.
Shriwise trying to get open in the reset, working with Jonathan Malks.
Shriwise and Bosch are coming over from the Madison scene a couple years ago to D.C. So that was kind of part of the genesis of the Space Heater team, I feel.
Here we see a huck look. Well read. That was a great read. And the ladies of Space Heater finished that out. That goal is McVeigh. And the assist is number 69, Clea Paklemba. But great read on that high ball here. Pinpoint catch.
Yeah,
nicely played.
Excellent concentration. There's no reason that she should have been able to get that one with the defender slightly taller than her and going to it, but she read that perfectly. I mean, absolutely. And I love that even if you read a disc so well like that, it's so important, I feel like, to get your feet off the ground. Like, she didn't have to jump to catch it, but, like, once you're in the air, you just have a better, like, sort of balance. And you should be used to kind of catching up in the air. So I like that she got up like that to catch it. And trusting throw there from David Boylan Kirchner, as we know as Duke, of course, didn't seem to have any hesitation in putting that to a covered Paklemba. And they convert the break.
We heard that there are 11 new little Space Heaters on this Space Heater roster, but we were asking a little bit about the team makeup here, and it sounds like Mostly this team is made up of players that Jenny Fay has coached over the years. Obviously a really amazing coach of the YCC and youth scenes, both in Arlington, Virginia, where her career started, and also in DC. She did an excellent job with DC Rogue, the U20 women's team, a few years ago to finally unseat the Disc Northwest ladies as the perpetual champion of that tournament. So, you know, a lot of people as players playing like Jenny Fay plays because she taught them.
I'd like to play like Jenny Fay plays one day.
I think we would all really like to do that. That would be great. Here's Smith with Tristan Green, back to Smith, over to Allen. A little give and go, handler weave here with the men of Toro.
There we go, they found the open person for the goal. Grayson Sanner. So already they've moved Tristan Green over to both sides of the line, so we might see a lot of him as we see Grayson Sanner getting the camera treatment there for the goal, and as he goes as the team goes. So a hold there and looking pretty good there from Toro, named of course for Durham, the Bull City.
Yeah, I liked that reference. Toro also prides themselves on being a team that has the most fun, we've been told.
Wait, who? Toro?
Toro.
There's a lot of teams that like to have fun, apparently.
I know, and they all believe that they have the most fun.
It's quite possible.
It is. It's like saying that you have the best dog. Right?
That's
we all have the best dog.
Yeah. And you can't argue that. Like,
no, you can't.
That's a good dog. A good dog is a good dog. Fun is fun.
Fun is fun. And it's different for everyone. So Toro's been working a lot on their culture, I think, over the last few years. And one of those market kind of changes was to try to have the most fun.
I see no inflatables.
Inflatables are only fun
that means
to certain
fun.
People. Ooh, this pull is...
that's not fun.
It did not go into the merch tent.
That was painful for that disc.
It was. I don't think we can swap it out, though, can we?
It did hit the fence and not the brick. I think if it hits the brick, you could really scrape it. So
that's fair.
It's like
Speaking of brick, Norbaum will bring it to the brick. I'm just punny today. I apologize. Boscher out to Ella Youngst, a young player with a lot of hype around her.
One of the UNC Pleiades girls, of course.
To Faye. Faye, blading throw. Unfortunately, not caught by Westergren. But a clever little savvy throw there from Jenny Fay right to the spot.
Yeah, you got to know if Jenny's looking at you, you got to go and get it. Like, she's going to put those edgy throws. She's going to put a throw up. She's going to put whatever she wants up. So the receivers have got to know that it's kind of on them to make a play.
Looked like Space Heater was in a little bit of a poach look, and then we heard them call fire, trying to interrupt the Toro flow as they swing it across to Sydney Harris, out to Caitlin Gross, and around.
Like this movement here.
Maelstrup. Yeah, this quick movement is really fun to watch. I'm already entertained. Maelstrup with the disc. Clever little look there, coming in a little bit too hot for Brian Clark.
Yeah, I still like that that's a great defensive, just to move so fast like that. Unfortunate drop, however, gives the disc back to the Space Heater defense.
Norbaum looking for Faye. Faye finding Schreiwise. Back to Norbaum, just slicing through the middle of this field. Youngst back to Norbaum.
Yeah, like this defensive line for Toro looks a little caught off guard now after that turn.
Youngst to Norbaum in that corner. Jenny Fay will go up line, but
wow.
Ella Youngst power catches that in traffic. Great play from her. It is 4-3 Space Heater to Toro. Tight game here in pool play. We have Emmy Fitzgerald out in the field covering the rest of the mixed division. Let's see what she has to tell us about what's happening out there.
Yes, Aaron and Tony, I'm here at AMP Moondog. You can see it behind me. Moondog is currently up 5-1 on AMP. They started holding and then got 3 breaks in a row to go up early. So AMP not having quite the day that they have. However, talking to some folks on the sideline, Moondog performed very similarly in their game against Mischief in the first half. So the real question is, can they continue with this to half and then beyond? Keep you updated.
Thanks, Emmy. Appreciate the update from the rest of the division as we come back to this tight game here between Space Heater and Toro. We talked a little bit about kind of the history of programs over the course of the day. It's something that we're really interested in. Tony is obviously very good at knowing, because he wrote the literal book on Ultimate. But any other fun tidbits about either of these two teams that you think people at home would enjoy knowing?
Space Heater and Toro, or that Moondog?
I'm open.
Well, so we just heard Emmy say that Moondog is up 5-1 on AMP, and let's see if they can keep it up. I like that. And it's sort of like, well, who is this team? And, to me, I just feel like, we've seen Montana mixed ultimate teams do well here and play at mixed ultimate nationals. Trigger Hippie, 2 wins in the past. So, really should never overlook a team from Montana that's playing mixed, I think, is the takeaway from that report from Emmy.
I think that's fair. Zimmerman with another blade, this time looking for
Wow.
Bookout, and it is very well placed.
That was
Zimmy.
beauty. What a loft she put on that. She kind of like swung up and out with that forehand to kind of pop it up into the air and let it sit. It's kind of cool. Look at that throw.
And it's the
looks kinda
second
wacky.
one of these for her, I think. So it's a pretty nice look here. Again, a lofty edged throw in the wind can be hard to execute, but what you gain is a more direct route to your target, and sometimes it's easier for precision.
She guided that one in there, yeah. Just a nice look. You tend to want to say, don't throw those away throws, right? Like a watch for that away into the end zone. I feel like when you're making turns, I always try to tell my teammates, well, come back, cut back to the disc. Catch the disc in the end zone, coming back to the throw, because it's a better read. It's a better throw for the thrower. But they've been connecting on these away shots. So after they kind of threw those too far, yeah, they've seemed like they've gotten the sort of they figured out the wind for that going that direction on this field.
Well, this exciting mixed division pool play game and all the other coverage at 2019 USA Ultimate National Championships are presented by VC Ultimate, providing Ultimate's best custom team uniforms and apparel since 1998. If you would like to see the merchandise, we encourage you to visit VC on the web at vcultimate.com. A lot of really cool interactions with VC over the years. I highly recommend. Here we've got Space Heater back on O, and they are shredding just like they have been. This is Norbaum going over the top, looking for Jenny Fay, and she tracks that well. Deep threat Jenny Fay.
Well, that was a kind of cool ping-pongy Plinko offense there as they kind of worked down through what kind of a loose person defense from Toro. And then sure, that's the cut Jenny Fay needs to do, because she is going to be open with that. And with her big body and her,
her reach.
Her reach, she's got great hands. She's got the kind of this veteran sense. So, yeah, that should be there all day.
Agree. It's funny that you mentioned that Plinko style of offense. Georgia was telling me in the last round that when they looked their best on offense, it looked like they were running zone offense even when a zone wasn't on them.
Yep.
So I think this idea of trying to move the disc quickly with short passes kind of into the space and laterally and then back to the middle serves them very well. And again, being really efficient on those O points for their shorthanded lady roster, I think is a really smart way of doing it. You give a little bit of more energy to the people who need to be out there the most. And then if you can make those really efficient O points happen, then you can spend more energy on the D when you need to get in there. Because many of these women are going to end up playing back-to-back points repeatedly over the course of the game. Here's a pull from 20-year-old Jonathan Malks.
See if it stays close. Good Good try there from Johnny Mox.
The wind is coming from behind us, so that, was pushed a little bit.
I was surprised it stayed in as long as it did. You put a lot of Z on it. Still not enough. Allen will pick it up.
Allen's immediate, that looked like a pull play to isolate number 25, Pannone, and he was unable to get open. But this shot by Tristan Green to Grayson Sander is maybe exactly the game plan for Toro. That looked great.
Yeah, Cody Johnston there, and Green doesn't know what to do. Shaking his head a little bit, and yeah, they're definitely going to have to. Look at the splits. Green goes down with the splits. He had an open person on the sideline, and I think maybe Johnston. I certainly thought he was going to hit the open sideline. You see that number 25 coming in late there, but instead he goes right down the seam, right down the middle of the field. Yeah, it was going to be Pannone on the sideline there. And I feel like already Space Heater probably knows they're going to have to get a body on him. They're going to have to get the right defender on him, and whether it's a speedster or height or what, quickness, hopefully all three. Then otherwise it could be a long game of holds for Toro.
It could be, for sure. We got so much information from Toro about what their players like to do, and it sounds like they all have such defined roles.
Tristan
in particular, yes.
He's probably the best thrower on the team. Really good break throws and standstill hucks. Yep. Check mark. His decisions and consistency will be important in the game. If he's hitting his away shots, the team is normally a much better spot than when he's missing them.
Would you look at that? So yeah, if you're Space Heater, right now we're trading and everybody's in a good spot to hold, but at some point you got to earn a break, and if you want to earn a break, you got to make Toro do something that they don't want to do. And that look intended for Gabe Westergren is well defended. I believe that's number 9. Nope.
Yeah, it was Vikram Sethuram.
Thank you.
Number 15, Sethuraman. So there's the opportunity now for Toro, as they will face this wind. Last time they moved it down pretty well, pretty efficiently, and had an unfortunate drop. Let's see how far they get this time.
This is Tyler Smith working in the backfield.
And remember, this team did not win the region. They had a kind of a crazy bracket where they ended up losing to Huntsville and then won 5 straight elimination games in the Southeast.
That might be the most of anyone to get here.
5 straight elimination games, yeah.
Just a few inches off some of these throws here. Jenny Fay, again, putting up this backhand-shaped throw to Westergren. Just a bit too high, so we'll see Toro's number 9, Michael Maelstrup, coming in with the disc for Toro.
I think the takeaway is you don't want to throw to Gabe Westergren. I don't know why, but it seems like whenever that throw goes up, it's being covered.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
There's Tyler Smith with the disc for Toro, looking
Sometimes you just cursed
for her reset.
Wow, nice catch.
Cynthia Jones saving possession there. With a little bit of contact from Youngst. See how Jones and Smith work together.
Nice cut. She set that up beautifully.
She did. Here's Sydney Harris. Sydney Harris shooting. Play the Mac is called from the sideline.
Westergren's everywhere.
Well, you just said it. Don't throw to Westergren. Especially if you're on Toro, is the thing. It is going to come back. We'll see.
Maybe they're calling a body from Boscher on Harris here.
Foul was called. It's uncontested, and it's coming in on 1. I'm starting to be able to read the hand signals, which everyone should be trying to do at home, since that will become standard practice with the next round of rules that will go into effect in 2020. So practice at home.
I do have the abridged rules from Notre Dame player Sebastian Miner, which we will hopefully get to at some point for the next year's rules.
So Georgia Boscher was just guarding Sydney Harris and peeled off at such an angle that she was able to intercept that. Quintessential Boscher right there.
Yeah, that was a great play from Georgia Boscher.
She's looking for Norbaum over the top. Can he? No. Brian Clark gets that D, double coverage, unfortunately. Toro here calling a timeout. So there's a lot of back and forth on that point. Toro would like a chance to talk about it. Notably, Tristan Green not on the field to kind of run this offense, and so other players on Toro trying to make something happen for their team. Looks like most of the Toro cutters are getting open pretty easily with a fair amount of separation, but some of the Space Heater defenders maybe a little bit more experienced, a little bit cleverer in taking away lanes and spaces and able to get back with the disc.
You're playing against two things. You're playing against the wind and you're playing against the other team. So someone like Georgia Boscher, who's been at this game 15 years maybe? You know, I remember seeing her in 2013 in Cali, Colombia, playing for Team USA. I was one of the bombers on that team, and that was 4 or 5 years into her career. So she's been around and knows the lanes and still has her skill set. So a veteran player like that can use the wind and the field to know how to get into the spots that you want to throw. And we saw her do that earlier in this point. On the flip side of it, Toro's youth on display as Brian Clark easily able to go and get that D from Boscher throwing it deep, where maybe she thought that, you know, her players can kind of go make that play and go run it down and have the speed and the ups. But no, the speed and ups are on both sides here, but especially the youth on Toro here as Clark will pick this disc up right here.
Clark to Mailstrip. Mailstrip firing. But Georgia Boscher is in the area. And number 13, nope, that's not number 30, 43, Matt Wilson comes down with it. Oh. And his crossfield throw to Cynthia Jones just bounces off. Clearly upset about that there.
Yeah, that was really interesting because they ended up on a gender switch, and Boscher ended up guarding Wilson, and then Cynthia Jones, and then he sent it anyway to Cynthia Jones, who was guarded by a male, and she still had a chance at it.
We do have a stoppage here. It looks like there was some contact.
Looks like a player down, maybe cramping. It's that time of the game, the time of the tournament when you start to cramp.
That's Kyle Khalifa. Number 9 for Space Heater. Number 32, Anthony McLean will come in as this injury sub, and Toro will also take the strategy sub, basically. So Cynthia Jones will go out in favor of, I think that's Mary Rippey. Yes, Mary Rippey. Georgia will start. Wow. Nice catch by Jenny Fay on that a little bit too high pass, but Jenny throws basically the same throw to Ellie Youngst, who is not quite tall enough to retain possession there. So Toro within striking distance here as we are in a tie game, 5-5 in this mixed division pool play game.
Too many turnovers from Space Heater and Faye specifically.
Rippey into the middle. Ella Youngst gets it back. Those afterburners are kind of amazing. Jenny Fay
thrown into double coverage, so just not a good look there. Tunnel vision.
Schreiwise up on that high side. And that's McLean looking for Norbaum in that back corner, so Space Heater able to go up 6-5.
Nicely weighted throw there. Just kind of places up nice after the several chances there from Toro. And they've got to feel a little bit deflated from that point, as the defense was really stout. Did a lot of great work. You know, they moved the disc up well. People are making plays out there, and just couple of boneheaded plays. You know, throw into double coverage, a drop disc in the end zone, and unfortunate. Happens to everyone though. This is where teams got to say, listen, you know, we had our chances at that point. We didn't get it done. There was just Ella Youngst there. And you know what? Shake it off, right? Like, ignore that. You know, we're better than that. It's okay. Hey, so-and-so dropped a disc. So-and-so threw into double coverage. You know what? They're our teammates. We got their back. Let's go. Let's go out there and do it again.
Yeah, I was going to make a similar comment. this whole game feels really muted. And I don't, I've never covered either of these games on a live stream before, but compared to some of the other teams that have a more outward energy style, both of these teams feel a little stoic, right? A lot of Space Heater is spending time in the shade tent, which, safety first. They have the only shade tent on this field, in fact, which is
I
surprising.
think it's the media tent. Yeah, they took down. So the winds forced the Surfside Sports Cup here said take down those tents. So unsanctioned tents have all been taken down.
Unsanctioned tents.
Yeah, and this is the media tent. That's why.
Here's Green firing again. That flick sails out and is not close to Christine Bookout. Interesting move there. Well, that's too bad because shade coverage is important, obviously, in this this sun and weather. So we hope people are there. It seems like they're starting to pull out some umbrellas so that they can stay safe. But anyway, just a muted game overall. Feels very, I don't know, just kind of quiet.
Oh.
That IO by Boone turfs. And Allen will pick up. He and Green taking turns, taking shots, and that's Mike Pannone.
Ooh, nice.
In the back corner. That back corner's seen a lot of action today.
Yeah, Kieran Allen picks it up, looks downfield, finds the open man, and hits him. Nice touch on that throw.
Toro really is a team that looks deep first. They are willing and able to take those aggressive away shots. And I think the Space Heater assessment of Toro's strength, that they are a deep game centric and kind of a gunslinging team, I think is pretty accurate. And so far to great effect here in this very close game. Space Heater and Toro played one other time, right? And Space Heater took it 14-11.
Yeah.
I think. Both teams reflected on that game. Space Heater was very clear that it was a consolation game, and those games tend to take a little bit of the edge off your intensity and focus. So they weren't expecting that to be a representative sample of what Toro could bring to the table. And then Toro, reflecting on themselves, also has kind of noticed that they are a little bit inconsistent, but if they're in a neutral and happy place, they do feel that they can contend with these very high-level teams and upper seeds in their pool, and feel very confident that they have the tools to make a run at this tournament. So it should. I'm really having a good time. I love these close games. I'm really glad that we're doing this here.
This is Toro. When they first formed as a team, they weren't sure if it was going to stay together, right? It's tough forming a team and sticking to it, and then they went to a tournament, did really well, and this disc will be a turnover. Again, too high from Faye. She's got to get that dialed in as she's facing into the wind. Another turn and a chance for Toro to break. I was about to say that Toro had a successful run in their inaugural tournament a couple of years ago, and that convinced some better players to join in the fun, and this should be a foul, no?
I don't think anybody touched that. Actually, I think that was just Kaja trying to throw an offhand left hand into a wind condition.
Yeah, too quick. Didn't have his feet planted firm enough to get the oomph behind that throw. And another chance for the offense here for Space Heater.
Bosher to Faye to McLean. McLean will take a shot. Everyone's favorite target. Norbom unable to rein that in. Unfortunate. But yeah, that back cone. Everybody is aiming at that back cone.
Well, because the other cone's into the wind. So, and so the test of this back cone basically is, can you lay it? Right? Can you lay it up there? And that one, as you saw, too far. But a lot of them have been able to lay up there. But going the other direction is going to be front cone only, basically, because it's kind of into the crosswind.
Barkas working with Kaja in the backfield, out and around to Coleman.
It seems like Toro's had so many chances to break, and they have not been able to get that many. They got the early one back to get up to two. It's tied at twos, I believe. And since that time, we have a pick call here.
No, I think so. Morizumi just made a kind of collapsing catch, and it may have been unclear whether it was up or not. I think Georgia Boscher is calling it down. So the observer has ruled that up. So Toro will retain possession. So that's Morizumi with 2 kind of possession-saving grabs. Good reputation to have.
Play of the game.
Kaja around. There is some traction issue on this field. We've seen it all day so far. Not really sure if folks should have brought little turf cleats instead. Kaja going every other. He will hammer to the back corner.
What a beautiful throw.
And he'll find Barkis, Tanner Barkis, to score.
Kaja finds his range after the lefty threw upfield there. Did not work. A couple of great throws as we see the celebration there from Barkis. And that's a break for Toro. They finally got what they're looking for, this upwind break. Too many fails from Space Heater, and it finally cost them. And they've got to refocus here. But really, they're giving a lot of confidence to Toro right now, and Toro is finally able to use it and get this break on the board.
I agree. You know, Space Heater is too experienced of a team and too talented of a team to not take this moment to refocus. And so I think that's exactly what they're doing. It looks like they're taking a timeout here before half. So we'll give them a chance to talk through that. In the meantime, you know, Tony, I feel like we have so much information about these two teams. But in the meantime, I think we should do a quick check-in with the rest of the mixed division. So, Emmy, you're on the line. Let us know what you got.
Hi, Aaron. Hi, Tony. Hi, y'all. I am still over at Amp Moondog. You can see right behind me. Moondog is going to do a quick check at the score, make sure I'm correct. 7-4. And they are on offense. Amp has given up a lot of opportunities. It's crazy. They've been able to register the Ds. We've had some crazy layout blocks from the Amp D line, and then they've struggled to convert again. Something else you can see. I know, Tony, you were talking about the shade tents and the wind. Right behind me also, USA Ultimate is putting in stakes. They're bringing stakes to the different sidelines so the shade tents can hold, because it's hot. I have my hat on, I got my sunscreen on, but we'll keep you posted to see if Moondog can hold on for half or if Amp can close the gap.
Thanks, Emmy. Appreciate you on Walkabout talking to us about the rest of the mixed games. You know, every game at Nationals matters, and it's really cool to be able to check in on those games.
Yeah, so Moondog was up 8-5 on Mischief, right? And then did kind of not seal the deal. They have a chance to go up 8-5 also on Amp now.
They do, and they have a chance to maybe like learn a lesson.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And try and hold that lead. But good teams are really hard to kind of suffer a gap like that, and are pretty good at putting a run together when they need to. So we go Space Heater receiving. Shrywise back there with Kolick. Shrywise again. Out to Boscher. Boscher's nice throw there to McLean. Similar pattern. Pretty regular string called. Oh, have we been calling Cody Johnston Shrywise the whole time?
Not me.
Okay.
I called Shrywise
Johnston.
Johnston.
It's a haircut. Sorry, Pat. So that's Johnston out there, not Shrywise.
Glad I'm not the only one that
I
made
know.
that mistake.
Boone to Boscher, looking for McLean.
Nice.
And that is a clean and easy, efficient Space Heater point. That looks like focus to me, Tony.
Yeah, exactly. That looks like a timeout was called, and someone said, "Got a team. What are we doing? Let's dial this in here. Too sloppy, too sloppy, too sloppy." So what do? They come out. They make every pass 10 yards. Doesn't matter if they're going into the wind with the throws they have, and they work it right on down and right on in. Everyone gets a touch, and they get the score.
Toro is now taking a timeout as well, understanding perhaps that if they can take half here, that that helps them greatly carrying into the second half with a 2-point lead. So maybe resting a few key players that were on the point just a second ago, or who need a breather so that they can maybe stack a line and try to take half here and earn
That's
that
what
momentum.
I would guess too. So we'll probably see Tristan Green out there. We'll see this man, number 0, Kieran Allen, probably Mary Rippey, maybe Zimmerman. Yeah, wouldn't be surprised. I like this call, right? Like, let's call a timeout. Let's try to seal it. Let's try to get this point in here, because it is kind of a critical one. They don't score up when they're going to get broken.
Yeah, I totally agree there. And you know, you have them, right? If Toro hasn't used one yet, you may as well use them, especially in a tight game like this.
This is fun.
It's great.
This is fun timeout.
Oh, you think it's a dance timeout? They do. Toro does have a theme song.
Okay. Oh, Winnebago.
Yeah, Winnebago.
Okay.
I had to look it
trivia.
up.
Oh, do we have a trivia?
No, I think I promised everyone that you were thinking of one.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'm thinking of one.
All right, cool. Toro is going to go for women here. So
wow.
we'll see.
Upwind.
One of the cool things about this tournament that's a little bit new for us is that we have commentator source available. That means we're taking some live stats, and we
Thank
have
you, Tom Stiles.
some data for you. As a data nerd, I really enjoy this, but it's a cool comparison to see two of the teams that we're watching right now, and kind of the completion rate. Not too different, but you see how many more passes Toro has. Is that an indicator, Tony, or is that just a stylistic difference?
It's pretty hard to tell, because we know Toro likes to send it. So they were downwind, they've been jacking it up. I mean, to me, these stats look pretty similar. Yeah, and I guess the other thing is I just think of so many turnovers that Space Heater has made. So, and then I guess the D-line would get the disc and then have to try to work it up against the wind. I think that's the discrepancy we see there in the number of completions.
I'd also be curious about the manner of the turnover, right? So the turnovers that Space Heater has had have been on some resets, on those high backhand breaks from Jenny Fay. The turnovers for Toro have been maybe shots to the end zone, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's a yardage difference, and definitely, have different ramifications. So here's Toro's O-line with 4 ladies out there in an effort to take half. It's Galaxy Point, Tony.
If it's going to be Galaxy Point, you don't want to pull out of bounds. Like, that pull needed to stay in. There's really no reason. You could throw a roll or you can throw anything you want, but keep it in bounds. Don't give this field positioning to Toro on this upwind opportunity.
Mary Rippey is someone we definitely thought was going to be out here. Zimmerman as well. Bookhout. Out and around to Sanner. Sanner taking a shot from Mary Rippey. Oh, it is defended. But in a win condition, that MAC play can be dangerous. So a little bit lucky there for Hannah Boone.
Yeah, she did get there. Nice look there from Sanner, but not enough to get around the body of Boone. And now here's the downwind break opportunity for half for Space Heater.
Perhaps notable for the Space Heater offense, neither Boscher nor Jenny Fay are on the line, but that huge gainer will result in a little bit of a fumbled opportunity there. That was Ryan Cooper trying to find Megan McVeigh in the end zone, and just a little bit of a hesitation causing that issue, that miscue right there.
Isolation for Zimmy. She comes down with it.
She will shoot. She is a shooter.
Tough to shoot into this wind. But we saw it just a point ago from Grayson Sanner.
Allen to Smith. Smith might shoot too.
Just want to say that it is actually Toro with 4 men.
Wait, what? One. No, Tyler Smith is.
Oh, yeah. Yep. My bad.
Yeah. Mary Rippey having a bit of a conversation, perhaps another up-down call here. Oh, the conversation is back where the throw occurred, not at the receiver. So we've got Kieran Allen discussing with Jonathan Malks. It is a foul call, I believe. It is also contested, I believe.
So are we all set? As soon as it's ready, check it in.
It was very easy to tell in the last round what all the calls and resolutions were because the women's division has adopted the hand signals with a lot of grace and awareness. So as we all practice at home, knowing all the hand signals, we encourage people to keep using them in gameplay. This is a shot. That IO look. Yeah, and that's Jonathan Malks. He's 20, and he is finding Megan McVeigh. So they did a little bit of a redo.
Yeah,
and they
exactly.
made it happen to take half.
I like that. It's like, well, we couldn't connect on the 2-footer, so let's try an IO 30-footer. So a break there from Space Heater to take this Galaxy point and the half. So many chances for Toro, and it's just not quite enough against the stoutness of the defense and a little bit of the wind. But a great game here to start off.
Yeah, we know this Space Heater team is capable of breaking to win and breaking when they need to. Certainly a lot of excitement. We do have an update from Emmy. Emmy, where are you at?
Hi, I am at the Moondog AMP game. Moondog did take half, 8-5. I have one of the captains with me. I keep dropping the phone. The selfie life is a little tough. Okay. So you have a sign here. Hold up the sign so we can see it in the camera.
The one we found on the sideline.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about the significance of this sign.
Well, this is a team that we combined with. The Bozeman team, the Bozeman Bozos, combined with the Mental Toss Tycoons out of Missoula to form this Montana All-Star team.
So it's a new team, but it's not really a new team. How does that experience and chemistry really help you all?
Well, we kind of figured we had to compete at this level, and we already knew each other. We hang out and party together as a Montana community, so it was an easy transition to get together, and we were just stoked to play at a higher level, basically.
Yeah, for sure. So I know you all been in this situation before. How are you building as the day is going on?
We're learning from our first mistake. We went up 8-5 on Mischief as well, so we're gonna be more composed and less nervous this game, and we're just gonna close it out. We're gonna keep our energy high and our focus sharp.
What is you guys have some really fun cheers.
Yeah.
Give the viewing fans one of your cheers.
Oh my God, I'm not the person for that. You'll have to maybe wait till halftime for that. But yeah, we get a lot of inspiration from music, from Lizzo. We got a cheer from Snoop Dogg. We got a lot of cool cheers.
I like the Snoop Dogg cheer.
Yeah,
I think that's my favorite one.
Maybe we'll do that one for you.
Okay, good luck in the second half.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So Moondog is currently up 8-5 over AMP, and the story is the same. AMP being able to get the turns, but not the breaks. Stay tuned.
Thanks, Emmy. Appreciate it. We are going to take a little bit of a break here at halftime as I think both teams will relocate to the far sideline as USA Ultimate is putting the tents up as Emmy foretold, hopefully with stakes in the ground now so that they can stay solid in this wind. We just want to give you a quick update and reminder of what's happening for the rest of the day today, all times in Eastern Standard Time, and a little bit of a sneak peek at what we're covering tomorrow. Tony and Emmy and I will be with you every step of the way, and we appreciate your interaction with us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're going to let you take a break as we hydrate, Tony, and we will see you after halftime. Thanks.
What? Yeah, well. Give me the stick mic, Squeeze, you want to do something? Yeah, we'll interview somebody with that microphone. We can control the way that goes on. You have to go over there and face one of those. Oh, cameras are off now. Hang on. Set up a sideline interview on the far side. No, it's not. You want to go up and shoot across and do a sideline interview shot? Yeah. Game's on. Hey, go to the far sideline and grab somebody and ask them one question. Like a real one. Or Toro. Brick mark, hey, Squeege, brick mark facing that camera. Yeah, Right there, right there. Squeege, Shane. I told him to do one question, so we'll cut him off like the one. Yeah. You can kill it if you want it.
We want to welcome you back to live stream coverage of this mixed division pool play game pitting Durham Toro against DC Space Heater. We are in the middle of a pretty exciting game here. Space Heater broke to take half, 8-7 on that Galaxy point that Tony and I keep finding ourselves in the middle of. Other kind of logistics and notable updates, the shade has arrived at the field, which is good for everybody's safety, but we are going to be underway here with a pull from Space Heater momentarily.
Yeah, so we were going to set up a sideline interview. One of our volunteers, Vinny Fiacco, Squeege on the far sideline there, but unable to get a halftime interview in time as this game started up pretty quickly. Tristan Green on the O-line again here, gets it up and gets it moving. Zimmerman with the disc now.
Zimmy looking for Tristan Green. Green with the disc, will take a shot. And that is clean and pretty to Grayson Sanner. A connection for the ages, Green to Sanner.
Yeah, watch out. Like, he's seeing things that no one else is seeing on the field right now, because Sanner made that cut, that out cut, before the, he threw that before that cut was there, basically. So he's seeing and knowing his players out there, and that's basically unstoppable when someone's that on fire.
It's also interesting, Space Heater looked like they came down in and put some players into some lanes when Green had the disc to try to kind of muck up his look, I think. But then Tristan got it in motion. And once he was in motion, it was over, right? There was not any way to clog up that lane and try to figure it out anymore. So a nice little next level over the top three-dimensional put from Green to Sander there.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, really.
And we are all tied up again here, 8-8. All kinds of exciting play around the division. It looks like BFG is up 9-4 over number 1 seed Dragon Thrust. It looks like there are a couple other 2-point games in there. Mixtape is up 8-6. Some other teams are in a little bit of a 2 or 3 point game. As we mentioned, Moondog took half on AMP 8-5. And we're going to try to learn a little bit from their mistakes in their first round game against Mischief. I saw Mischief was up on Snake Country. So a lot of things still close, anybody's game, but kind of a good balance of like very exciting matchups going on right now and a couple other ones that are holding true to seed.
You know, doesn't surprise me that Bozeman and the Fly Coons combined, Bozos, both those teams have been around for a while. That does explain the strength of Moondog.
Here we're looking for Georgia Boscher in double coverage, and then she'll find Ella Youngst unguarded because of it, and that was pretty.
Yeah.
Kyle Khalifa with that throw, trust throw to Georgia Boscher, but like we talked, I talked about it in the last game. You know, Dina Elimelech out in the space, you throw it to her. I feel like Georgia Boscher in double coverage might be the same thing. You can just probably send it, and she'll take care of the rest. Such an amazing player.
Yeah, she really knows how to get up. She knows her body really well. She's just an athlete, kind of next level athlete.
She also has a lot of experience. I mean, maybe you have tracked her career more specifically than I have, but you know, she went to college in Madison, was on Belladonna, was a Callahan nominee, not a winner. Not quite sure there. I know she played on Fury for a number of years. She's kind of bounced around the country, captained Heist, has done some coaching, like kind of just
2009.
There we go, 2009 Callahan Award winner. Georgia Boscher, kind of a big deal, no problem.
2009 was 10 years ago.
It was.
So she's still now look at some of her fellow Callahan winners from around that time. Anna Nazarov still playing, 2007, 2 years earlier. Alex Snyder now is on the microphone, so she's not playing any longer. Kara Crouch isn't playing. Miranda Roth before her
we
is
saw
coaching.
Dom at breakfast.
Dom Fontenette still playing. The 97 Callahan winner still playing.
Amazing. That's Bookhout. She's looking for Mary Rippey. Not converted there. So Space Heater back on offense here. Here's McLean eyeing his targets, and he has many. Can they work together? There we go. That's DeConnick to Pete MacArthur. Did I say that right? DeConnick, and it's a break.
Well, that's kind of what they needed here if they're going to get back on top is Space Heater. Yeah, let's take it over. So we have an update from Emmy Fitzgerald. Let's see what's going on with BFG out of Seattle on that field against the number 1 seed Dragon Thrust. Emmy, take it away.
Hi, Aaron. Hi, Tony. So number 1 seed Dragon Thrust is currently down to number 8 seed BFG. BFG is right now, they're leading 12-6. The margin was even wider earlier. But BFG having a great day today, and Dragon Thrust just having a little bit of difficulty converting. They are on defense right now. BFG is currently charging towards the end zone. Now remember, Dragon Thrust, number 1 seed, over on the other field, now right behind me, Dallas Public Enemy is playing Columbus Cocktail. Columbus scored a Callahan, and then I think scored about 4 in a row. They currently lead Public Enemy 10-8. So a lot of close games. One that is not as close as we thought it would be. And BFG still, they just scored. So now it is 13-6 BFG over Dragon Thrust. Back to you.
Wow, what an update, Emmy. Thank you for that. Appreciate that you're over there. We are tuning in just in time to see Tristan Green's attempted throw to his favorite receiver, Sander, get defended by Ryan Cooper, who smacks that disc out of the air and out of bounds. And here is Cody Johnson, for real this time, not falsely identified, to McLean, who's going over the top. And that is well read by number 61, Eric Salmi. And that is another break for Space Heater here on a run.
Well, taking advantage of what's given to him, really. So I guess they're just kind of holding down the fort in that sense, and the mistakes coming from Toro are getting punished. That's two clean, mistake-free holds on the D-line now in a row for Space Heater, as they have really, after that timeout, I think they've really kind of cleaned it up. We did see Toro get that break to end, but it's been all Space Heater here in the second half. Eric Salmi now giving a little number 6 and a number 1 for his play out there.
Doing great out there. Good coverage from Space Heater. You know, I think they've tried a couple things to try to slow Tristan Green's choices and throws down, and in this particular case, they just let him throw to the force side, and they tightened down on the downfield matchups. So well played there. Now we will see another D-line from Space Heater. It does look like Jenny Faye is taking a bit of a break. Maybe she realized kind of where her head was at and decided she could be better utilized if she was fresher.
Okay.
You know, sometimes you got to do that. As a leader, there's a lot of pressure to perform at your best, and it's hard sometimes to notice when your throws aren't clicking and you're not connecting with people, and sometimes the best thing you can do is kind of go regroup and recalibrate a bit. I bet we will continue to see her later in this game on probably the next O-line, I would bet, and I would assume that she will, you know, hit it out of the park right away.
Well, Tristan Green, I was wondering where I recognized him from, and it was from playing from Dark Side UNC, of course, and Ring of Fire. And he's back out here again with Allen in the backfield now, and up to Sander. Yeah,
I think I've been on a couple focus groups with Tristan. I think he does a lot of organizing in the triangle area as well. I know he does facilitate a lot of things for the youth scene there, or at least he has in past years. So I don't know. I always want to shout people out who give back to their community. I think it's really important for the future of our sport. So that triangle area certainly benefits. They have a super strong youth and college scene, and I think that's facilitated in part by the cooperation of these elite level players and the teams that they play on to make a concerted effort to give back.
Yeah, all of the coaches involved up and down the ladder, it feels like, in the triangle area are part of the youth scene as well, and the players. You know, of course we see folks like Jonathan Nethercutt giving back to the community. Kelly Ross is coaching D.C. Rogue now and played for Scandal. So there's a lot of action there, and they're one of the pinnacles of that in the country.
Well, we're going to see Grayson Sander behind the disc a bit as he finds Mary Rippey.
Sorry, Ross is in D.C. My apologies.
That's all right. We appreciate all forms of community involvement. This is a big huck going. Oh, a little bit too far from an excited. That's number 53, Jonathan Malks again. Intended target, Clea Paclumba, 20-year-old to 20-year-old. Just a bit too far and a bit too hot as we are racing with Toro upfield off to Zimmy again, who has fired several blades from this position on the high side. Wouldn't be surprised to see her throw another one. Out to Bookhout, and Bookhout throws what I thought was a Zimmerman throw, and it is a bit too far. That's Tanner Barkus with the bid there.
Well, they're still staying with those away throws. A little edgy on that one. And as it's rotating away from your hand to catch it with that wind, it can be pretty difficult if it doesn't sit. Another chance for Space Heater to break as Johnny Malks will walk it up.
Ashley Sylvester is foot blocked by Mary Rippey, and they will have a short field here.
Pretty excited was Mary Rippey there as well. She should be.
Great play there. We'll see Green pick up. He has Zimmy isolated in the end zone. He will reset instead to Allen. They're playing a little bit of give-go. Seem to have got into a handler weave, and Green will find Zimmerman to bring this within 2.
Okay, well, you kind of needed that. Like, okay, let's get a hold on the board, and then, hope that, they're not really forcing a lot of space heater turns that we've seen so far. Really, I think like it's been a lot of miscues from space heater. So, if they just keep the pressure on, and they're going to have to. The problem here, I feel, Aaron, is that they've used Tristan now on this O-line, and so if they get the turn, what are they going to do? Watch Mary Rippey here. Wow.
Woof. It's you're in a spot here, right? A familiar situation to be sure. Toro has kind of put themselves back a few, but to Space Heater's credit, right? They just went on a run. But every run starts with a clean hold, so we should have that opportunity now for Toro to earn back a break, or at least for their D-line to get out there and show what they're made of. So we see some familiar faces out on this line for the D-line for Toro, and it'll be interesting to see if they stay in a person defense or if they maybe try to switch it up just so they can maybe get a confusion-efficient break.
Rippey played with Phoenix last year, and she has crossed back over to this Toro side. On the mixed side, also came out of the Pleiades scene and the NYU programs.
Schreiwise and
Violet
Norbum
Femmes.
and Faye back in this handler set. Out to Norbum. Doing a lot of work, Norbum, this game. I did get confirmation, because the internet is a wonderful place. Tristan Green is the full-time executive director of Triangle Area Ultimate, and he has been doing that for 6 years.
Oh my, he's doing great stuff. That's cool to see that someone can be that active and involved and also be pretty bomber on the field. That's pretty cool that you can wear both those hats.
Faye finds Boscher on that high side. Boscher to Young's bidding. We were playing inches of that field out on that white line over there. Here's Schreiwise. Back to Youngst. Tight spaces in here, but Faye has it. Does look like there's a stoppage.
Youngst was on that rogue team that won it all with Jenny Faye, YCC, is that correct?
Sure, sounds about right.
I know she's obviously still, I believe she's still at UNC, maybe like a junior. We saw her in the finals at College Nationals this year in Frisco.
That would certainly make sense, right? Jenny has coached a number of these players. So, all right, so you've got Jenny Faye, who's going to throw a high release flick IO.
Dirty.
And she's back in fine form. That target, Gabe Westergren, who after first half of Don't Throw It to Gabe, is now going to have a renaissance, I think.
Yeah, and for Faye too. Well, look at the touch on this throw. Hard to describe how else to put this, but like, whoo.
She's sneaky.
Like she's using the wind to her, it's like that's an aided throw in the sense that she's allowing it to sit, allowing it to float, putting the right touch on it, and unafraid to throw over a big mark from Tyler Smith too.
I've spent a lot of time telling young people not to throw high release flicks, especially in the wind. So, Jenny just probably ruined that for everyone who will now go out and decide that they can throw that throw. That is a hard throw. It's a hard release point. It's hard to put touch on it. I know y'all can't see it at home necessarily, but that was into the wind. The wind is coming over Tony and my shoulders with a little bit of a maybe angle on it towards that back corner that everybody loves right now. So that's a strange contradiction of physics almost on that nicely placed sailing throw. So do not try this at home.
You're right.
Young
people.
Well,
I can say that the other option that you would try to throw there would be a scuba, and that for sure would have been crushed by the wind. So, and she couldn't throw it low because there was defender. There's a reason he was wide open, basically, which is like, well, you're not going to be able to throw it to this corner. Hammer was not going to work. Scuba's not going to work. Low throw, too many people in the way. So if she wanted to hit the open receiver, the only option was a high release floaty forehand.
That's
and
fair.
she just happened to have that throw.
Looks like Space Heater took a timeout, and Toro is going to take advantage and relocate
the pool, the bowl
the
pool.
bowl. The inflatable. We talked about the inflatables.
They do have inflatable. They must have heard us and at the first half and said, okay, we need to show that we do have inflatables.
So they will relocate into the shade. Smart move there. And we will get to see.
Can you ride that thing? I bet you can.
Well, on the water when it's in the water. Well, I mean, it depends on how inflated it is, I bet.
Right. I don't know if I want to see.
Could be. We'll see.
Let's not find out.
No. Hey, maybe.
I want to see this person find out.
Hey, maybe after the game it would be fun to have Tristan try to throw with that pie tin you've got.
Oh, that's a great idea. We have the Frisbee company, the Frisbee Baking Company. We have the original. I want Jenny Faye. We'll have Jenny and Tristan try some throws.
Yeah, I think that would be a great thing.
The Frisbee, that's the origin of the disc that we play with, comes from the Frisbee throws from the Northeast, where the Frisbee Baking Company, which is now back in existence, making pies. And I have one of those discs from the 40s. And we'll get to test that out.
Mary Rippey back to Atlin.
Isn't it funny? I called it a disc. That's several times. Whoa, big throw here from Kieran Allen.
This is a big throw. Who's his intended target? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's Pannone. Number 25, running that down. Looked like Zimmerman was there and a viable target as well. A nice throw there from Allen. It's a 2-point game here. Toro has 10, Space Heater has 12. We're a little less than 25 minutes till hard cap. So far, a bit of a game of runs and a little bit of momentum. Space Heater able to come out of half and put a break train together to earn this little bit of cushion that they have here. Toro certainly capable of answering back, but I think as we learned when we talked with them in preparation for this game, a lot of their inconsistency is centered on these roles that these players play, right? And if they adhere to the role and kind of do what they can, and as they said, you know, Tristan's experience in decision making and throws, or Sanner's ability to get open have a lot to do with the success of this team. And we've kind of been seeing the ins and outs of that. When Green is throwing hot and hitting spots to Sanner, who's getting open, everything looks pretty good. Not to say that foot blocks by Mary Rippey and blades by Zimmerman don't help, but certainly, you know, if they can fall into that groove again, we could get another run here from Toro easily.
You know, the mixed scene in the triangle area has had some success in the past. Obviously, they've won it all with Raleigh Lama and with Spear.
Georgia Boscher puts up a huck to Ella Youngst. Is she going to get there? Oh, sorry. I got really excited about that.
It was a good shot. The inside-out forehand there from Boscher, but just a little too far.
I think Youngst is mad at herself for not laying out for that, though. Oh.
Yeah, that could have been a pretty big highlight.
Play of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Green takes over with Kaja in the background for Toro.
So what I was trying to get to is that they can kind of recapture that history of mixed. You know, right now it's been, wow, here's a shot from Green to Harris. Whoa.
Oh.
Tipped away last minute.
That's
by
a
Boscher.
nice D.
Yeah. If you could see Georgia's eyes on that disc, so she is looking behind her and is able to keep running straight and look behind to find it. So then when she gets up in the air, she can get a paw on it.
Norbaum to Boscher. Oh, Boscher wants to fire. She's looking for number 9. Kyle Khalifa with a play over Tristan Green. And that is a punctuated exclamation mark on a Space Heater second half that is not looking backwards at all.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of like it's the proverbial nail before the end of the nail of the coffin, as that shot there. Khalifa gets a body from Tristan. I don't know if that would be a call or not, but he keeps his focus and his arm reach out there at the sky and gets this one down. So Space Heater, yeah, coming out strong here and staying strong here in the second half as Boscher there with the play. And we'll see Khalifa coming up here soon on the throw from Boscher into rhythm. I love the length that Georgia Boscher gets on her throws. Like, it's always going to be that kind of distance. She's not really going to short arm it. And we see the result there.
Seeing a lot of high-level play from some of the young guys on Space Heater. I mean, I think we all already are familiar with Ella Youngst and some of the young women, but in particular right now, absence on the field from Kolick, who has been struggling with cramps in the second half, and that's why we haven't seen him on the field. So a little bit of an interesting personnel exchange there as some of these, 20-year-old YCC alums that are on Space Heater are getting maybe a few more high-level reps because Kolick is out.
Well, it's good for them that they're still leading this one by a comfortable 3 goals. Whoa.
Nice D there by Boone, I believe.
Yeah, Hannah Boone saw that the whole way. The whole sideline was calling her name. Johnny Mulks now will reset it to Poklemba.
Poklemba's look is maybe a little bit confused, but Ryan Cooper able to accelerate into that throw and score. That was 3 20-year-olds just playing catch right there.
And why not? That's what I would do. Beautiful find from Poklemba. No one back there. The defense is a little stagnant. The offense very stagnant from Toro, as they seem to have given up on the gas here. Space Heater will take this game rolling away. Let's throw to Cooper. That's going to be one more point to the end of this one.
Softcap did go on in that point, but it didn't matter. Game will still be to 15. And while we wait for this pull to go off, it sounds like we do have one other update from Emmy out in the field. Emmy?
Hi, so back at BFG Dragon, BFG has 14, Dragon Thrust has 10, but at one point it was 14-8. So Dragon is managing to stay alive so far. However, they are about to pull to BFG. Also around the complex, I guess, Dig is currently up in the men's division. Dig out of Boston is up over 1 seed Sockeye, 11-8. That game is in progress right now, and then we'll come back over to the mixed division. Mixtape out of Seattle is playing. Who are they? No, I'm not looking at the right one. Mixtape was playing, and I think they are currently up. But we'll see if BFG can close out the upset. We'll also keep an eye on the Dig Sockeye game. Back to you.
Thanks, Emmy. Appreciate the update on that game. Certainly some interesting news. I think what's fun about all of these games is just this idea that really any team can beat any other team on any given day. And also just sometimes it's hard to seed a tournament, especially when regionals finish and head-to-head matchups are in play. So cool to hear that all these are tight games. Love bringing the folks at home a lot of high-level competitive play. We're going to see Tyler Smith take a shot. And, Bookhout had the better read of the 3 humans in the area, but unfortunately the wind pushed it just out of her reach.
Yeah, pretty good throw there from Smith, but the wind eventually got the best of it. Yeah, a lot of dig up on Sockeye. Machine goes down. BFG on the number 1 seed up right now, and we were talking about how Dragon Thrust looking for the Triple Crown, which would be winning Pro Champs, US Open, and this tournament, Nationals, the one that counts. And if they could have an AMP type of situation where they have to be bounced into the lower pools and then fight their way back up, AMP as well might be in that position.
MacArthur fires for Megan McVeigh, who's camped out on the front line of that end zone. She kicks it out to Sylvester. Sylvester to Boone, and that is game. So Space Heater does one better and beats Toro 15-10 this time instead of 14-11, which was the last time. We're going to have Tony head down and try to find some folks to talk to, maybe get them to throw a Frisbee pie tin around, see how they like that. Really interesting development over the course of this game. During the first half, these two teams felt really evenly matched. Space Heater looked a little bit tired and out of sorts and had a lot of kind of self-made turnovers. But whatever was said at halftime of that Space Heater huddle really turned it around. They had a very clean second half, a number of defensive runs, several breaks in a row. And unfortunately, Toro, despite some brilliant play from a number of their players, just couldn't kind of stay in it, but nothing to be ashamed of here. Still going to seed in this game. Clearly the pool play games over the course of the game have different kind of ramifications as we move on, and as we start to see, as we did in the graphic moments ago, as teams start to have a record of 3-0 or 2-1 or 1-2. The teams that win pool play do get an advantage in that they do not have to play a pre-quarter. So if you are kind of falling out of those top 1 seeds of the pool, you have an extra game that you have to play. And usually the 2 seed in a pool plays the 3 seed in an adjacent pool and whatnot. I know we've displayed the bracket in the past, and that might be something worth checking in on here. But Tony's headed down to try and find, I think we were talking about getting Tristan Green and Jenny Fay, both longtime community organizers and mentors and whatnot to their various communities, which is greatly appreciated. But yeah, here's a kind of a look at the standings right now. These are win-loss records to the right of these team names. I think Emmy mentioned that Mixtape was winning their game, so that should have been against the Polar Bears out of San Francisco. And Space Heater will now improve to 2-0, and we'll see how some of these other games shake out. We'll figure out if Moondog learned their lesson and they're able to kind of close out their game against AMP. We'll see if Mischief was able to put Snake Country to bed, and a number of other exciting things in these matchups. Tony has Jenny Fay down on the field. Tony, are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
All right.
I didn't know if we were starting.
Oh, yeah. Jenny, so we were just talking a bit here. Tell us what changed in the second half, and what did you change in the second half personally?
I think, I was a little disappointed myself for some turnovers I had early on, and I think one of the best things about this team is just how incredibly talented we are from top to bottom, and it was just so fun to see people taking over. I think we made some small adjustments with the wind. I think we're making it a little harder for ourselves on offense than we needed to, and the defense was incredible. I'm super proud of them. We know that they like to gunsling, and so we were just responding to that better, make some small defensive adjustments, and then on offense, I think we just tried to take the pressure off ourselves a little bit and work it more. So. Okay.
And for you personally, tell us about what did you mentally going through that?
Yeah, sure. I was disappointed with my with my round backends that were popping up, and I think I was trying to do a lot, as someone who often is a contributor on offense. But so I just decided to take a little step back and create space for others. We also felt like our women were a strength, and so we put our women downfield more in that game, including me, so that I was cutting more, but it wasn't so much about what I was specifically doing other than just helping to create space for others. Yeah.
And next up, Mixtape. What do you see coming for that game?
They're super talented. I haven't really been paying too much attention to today, but I've heard rumors that just mixed as wild as it tends to be. I feel like in mixed, anyone can win in a situation like at nationals where everyone's bringing their A game. We are excited to see them. We know a lot of them from various connections. Some people used to live in D.C. Like those guys. We had a fun matchup last year. We have some different people on our team, so do they. So we're just excited to ball and battle. We know that they're going to be. There's going to be some awesome people to match up on. Really, is who we're excited about.
Last question. You've coached a number of folks here on your team, and also I believe with Toro.
Yeah, there's one player, Grayson Sanner, who was, if you noticed, he's just balling for them. He's super talented. Not to do with me, but Arlington is maybe not as much as a known hotbed as Atlanta or Boston or Seattle for youth ultimate, but we've had some really great youth coming up in the last 10 years, and it's this awesome program. So. I love just being involved there when I can, and he played in the DC area last year, and this year he's living down in North Carolina where he went to college, and he's great. And then on our team, I've coached a number of them. I don't even remember how many of them, but as they grow up and go into college and stuff, we become teammates, become friends. It's an awesome experience. So.
At the end of this, I want to do something. I want to see if you want to throw an original Frisbee pie tin.
Never done that
Test
before.
out your throws.
Should I try my round backhand?
Yeah,
since
let's see it. Let's
sucks
see how
so
it goes
much?
in the wind.
Okay,
All right.
So I'm gonna throw it this way.
Okay. Here we go. I'm going down.
What I learned was to step out a little.
Yeah, step out. It's pretty good. Yeah, what field is like 6?
Tony, that's great. I really am glad we heard from Jenny there. I think we are. Yeah, I think we're headed out. Of course, we have one more round of play. Tony and Emmy are going to be up here calling the machine truck stop game coming up next for you. On behalf of Fulcrum Media, I just want to say thanks for participating and watching the live stream today. I've been Erin Maraca, and we'll see you on the other side.